Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at strong evidence that Ari Rubenstein has asked the SEC to reduce the burden of securities legislation and allow market makers to list preference shares. So this is quite damning, but this is also potentially one of the reasons why Ari may have gone missing. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to be looking at AST and some important updates, which is a stock that we featured on the channel a couple of days ago, and the stock has been doing exceptionally well. So let's first of all start by having a look at what's happening in the markets. So first headline here from CNBC: the S&P 500 cuts earlier losses as techs rebound. So it is a little bit of a mixed day in the markets overall, but continuing with the theme of the banning of short selling in other countries such as South Korea, Thailand, and also potentially in India. Shout out to Kristen here, who's posted news from the United Kingdom, which I think is positive, and she stated here the UK Parliament member says predatory short selling practices are quickly becoming a cause for global concern. So it looks like the news is spreading worldwide, so hopefully it also spreads to the United States. So let's now have a look at another post from Quiver Quantitative, who are tagging in Congress and basically saying this, that Congress now looks to appear to be hiding their new stock trades. It's the fourth day of posting, and basically they've now seen 5 politicians file trades which are not publicly visible. So certainly seems to be something going on there. But if we look at other trades that were highlighted, so shout out here to Nancy Pelosi trader, who stated here's a politician trade that got that you've got to tip your hat to, and that is Republican, or should I say Representative Mark Green, who is a Republican. In 2023 he bought 1.35 million shares of NGL Energy, and that went up 305%. So he's made a nice tidy sum of $743,272 just on that stock alone, which is more than 4x his salary. So congratulations to Mark. Let's start by having a look at an update for the broker survey campaign. So shout out again here to iNape, who stated that this is a voluntary community share survey and does not constitute share registration. But what we are looking for is obviously if you have transferred your shares to AST, or even if you've had your shares forced transferred to AST, we're now looking at focusing on RBC in US and Canada. So help us validate your shares and prove this broker number 2 is over their certificate allotment. So go ahead and check out the links there, and also go ahead and check out iNape's Twitter handle, so you can obviously remove your personal details. And I think we may be getting close with RBC, but what is iNape's gone on to say is overall we're looking at potentially 105 brokers who may be staring fear in the face. 105 brokers. We are one down with TradeStation. We're close with RBC, and the others will obviously be next. And if you remember in the previous video, what we looked at was Fidelity, who have been recently removing all MMTLP statements under their Twitter handle. So another broker that we featured was Trading 212 in the previous video. So shout out here to Ryan, who stated tagging in Trading 212, is there a reason you haven't provided me with any information that I requested on 28th of July 2023? So I think that's well in it. It's should we say close to 6 months there, and obviously after numerous times with regard to his transfer his MMTLP shares but to AST. Is it because you don't have the shares? So we are obviously asking the important questions here. And I think in the previous video I did share some correspondence that Trading 212 did provide, so go ahead and check that one out. Let's have a look at some examples of proceedings and correspondence from Canaccord Genuity and also GTS securities, including Ari Rubenstein. So shout out here to Rare Deals, who've tagged in FINRA and stated FINRA allowed Meta's Series A placeholder to become tradable as MMTLP when broker dealers submitted fraudulent and outdated information. So the correspondence here shows that Canaccord Genuity was involved in the earliest trades and they have a history of fraudulent listings. So we can see here in one of the examples provided that the SEC did actually go ahead and submit some proceedings against Canaccord Genuity. So obviously this was in breach of securities legislation. But I think what's another interesting post here, if we follow on from that, is it states on to say the other company in the correspondence above is GTS. So this is where we bring in Ari Rubenstein, and the CEO Ari Rubenstein in the letter goes on and on about changes to the rule 15C2111. He believes it can harm the market. Then in the third image, he makes it suggestions that it should be easier to list things like preferred shares. So let's have a look at the image and blow it up. And I've highlighted some of the important things. And remember, these are the words of Ari Rubenstein. So what he stated here, making some suggestions to the SEC. He believes the SEC it is important for them to have room to reduce the burden of Rule 15C2 Part -11 by expanding the criteria for the types of securities which would be eligible for exemption from the rule. So he wants this rule to be flexible and allow them to be exempt in terms of obviously manipulations and other activities that they would like to go ahead with. And he states here it should be the rule needs to be flexible to allow market makers to quote immediately. For example, so market makers like him, additional classes of shares. So obviously submit additional classes of shares onto US exchanges. And this is the interesting one. Also preferred and convertibles if the primary shares are listed on a US securities exchange. So obviously specifically mentioning preferred shares here. And obviously we know what's happened with MMTLP. And finally, let's finish off by having a look at ticker symbol AQST, also known as Aquestive Therapeutics. So this is a stock that was mentioned in the previous video and the video 2 days ago, where we looked at some obviously FDA catalysts. So go ahead and check out that video. But from the previous 5 days, what we're going to have a look at now is 2 days ago when we looked at AQST. I think it was trading around about the $2.30 mark. So now we can see over the previous 5 days it is up in excess of 35%, and I think today, just today, it's up at time of editing just in excess of 9%, 9.2%, and now trading at around about $2.73. Yesterday was also a very positive day for AQST, so congratulations to everybody who got into that. But quick reminder in terms of the catalyst, so right at the bottom here, one thing that we focused on, there are 2 upcoming FDA approvals scheduled for 2024, and they could certainly drive the price up well in excess of $4 and higher, certainly. And in other positive news, obviously the company is now making significant revenue. So they currently have approximately $250 million revenue in anaphyllin sales alone, and obviously this is projected to grow. So this is obviously a good catalyst going forward. And the stock has also had significant upgrades in analyst price targets, so certainly one that we have been watching in the Discord this week, AQST. So if you would like to get information such as AQST and other stocks, you can join us. Details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.